Hey guys, it's Mike here. This past weekend, I participated in the Philadelphia 48-hour film project, so I didn't really have time to do a Rec on Mondays. So Glen put a little ditty together for you, in order for you to, still have a video on Monday. I'll be back with my recommendations of the week next week. What movie that will be, I'm not so sure. We'll find out. So enjoy.
So in this Keystone Extra, I'm going to be doing a spoiler review for Suicide Squad. Yes, I watched it a second time, and no, it didn't get any better. So what I did for this is I put bullet points for all the goods and bads of this movie. Later on, I'm going to go into each character and what I cared about them and what I didn't care about them. So get ready for that, alright? So the way these bullets are going to work, I'm just going to go in chronological order, basically. So like, boom, that happened, up. That was terrible. That's a bullet point. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing this spoiler review because a lot of people have been just nagging me that, man, this is a good movie. Why aren't you enjoying this, Glenn? Oh, you're way too critical on these movies. Like, these are good movies. You should really be enjoying them, Glenn. I'm like, but no, they're terrible. Especially this one. And yes, people can like their own movies and they're very entitled to their own opinion. I'm not saying you shouldn't like this movie. What I'm doing for this review is that I'm going to point out all the flaws that I saw in it and why I don't think it's a good movie. But if you like the movie, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I'm not trying to change your opinion. I'm just trying to give my position on why I think it's a bad movie, and I'm hoping this will just shed some light on it. I'm gonna spoil so much, it's gonna be crazy. So I hope you guys are ready for that. That's just forewarning you, and the next 5 seconds is me, just waiting for you to leave the video, because I don't know why you clicked on it. It said spoiler review. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And just a heads up, I wrote a lot of notes. I'm talking 1 page, 2 pages, 3, 4, and 5. That's 5 pages of notes on this movie, guys. This probably is not gonna go well. Why would you introduce only 2 of the many characters in this squad? Yes, it's Will Smith and Margot Robbie, but it was just really wasted time and they should have just jumped straight into Viola Davis's scene, which would have just made more sense and not wasted any of our time. It would have been better if that was just the start of the movie and then they literally introduced every single character that was going to be in this movie and maybe a little backstory. But instead what we do is we introduce only 2 of the characters, well, 2 of the main characters, Will Smith and Margot Robbie, and then Viola Davis scene, and then we jump into a scene where it's just character and song, 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 and it's just, wow, that is terrible. Why would you edit it like that? Why would you put that many songs? It would have been a better movie if it was just one really good score, but instead we got, oh, let's throw this pop song in there. Oh, let's throw one of those classics in there. That'd be really great. Why not? Oh God, how about, throw that song in there while that character's being introduced. Oh, what, we have 7 songs right now? Within 5 minutes? It'll be fine. People love it. They'll love it. Personally, I really like the scene with Deadshot and Batman, and honestly, I wish there was more, and I wish that was its own movie, but instead we got Suicide Squad, which is a thing. So one of, the only good bullets throughout these 5 pages is a scene where June is being introduced to everybody, or Enchantress is introduced in front of this meeting of higher government people, and she says Enchantress, and Enchantress's hand comes up and then switches with June, and then it's Enchantress instead of June now. I thought that was a really cool scene and it was done really well, but I wish there was more cool stuff like that. So I wish Joker was only in the movie when it was just Harley's origins. And he was just throughout the whole movie, and it kind of just was overkill because he's not that great of a character. Well, at least we all know Joker's the best, but in this movie, he's not that great at all. In the trailers, he seems awesome. Like, he seems like a great Joker, but that's all cut up to his best parts, and even parts that aren't even in the movie. There's a scene where Enchantress takes over and tries to get her heart back from Viola Davis, but she's not allowed to get the heart because it'll probably blow up if she gets too close to it. But thank God her brother's doll is there in the other room. Heck yeah. So that means she gets to summon her brother, Incubus, just, you know, out of the blue. Because the doll was in Viola Davis's closet for some reason. Or just a closet. But still, why? So at a certain point, Enchantress tells her brother Incubus that, hey, I'm gonna get you strong, just wait. But in like the next scene, we see Incubus's human form just roaming the subway, and he just takes human sacrifices for himself. And it only takes 4 sacrifices. You know that? Only 4 human sacrifices in the span of 5 seconds. Holy crap, did that character just go straight to his final form immediately. I'm really glad Enchantress could be just healed from her heart condition, you know, just by the touch of Incubus. I'm glad that's a thing, guys. I am so glad. And then there's a scene where the squad is just getting back into their old uniforms because they're out to go get Incubus. And Harley Quinn sees that Deadshot's not putting on his mask, so she's like, hey, why aren't you doing this? And he's like, oh, when I put this mask on, I want to kill people. That's the worst excuse to not want to put on the mask. Come on, you're literally going to try to kill somebody. Put on the mask. Like, I get that it's Will Smith, but that's Deadshot. He always has the mask on. The pep talk scene right after where they all get suited up is just stupid and was another waste of time. Because they just let Will Smith go, is what it seemed. They were like, oh, is that a pep talk? Yeah, that's a pep talk. Oh, well, you should get this guy as a reference because he's the main guy for a pep talk. Like, it was just a waste of time. Why are we even going into that? This could have been, like, all avoided. We could have had a better scene. We could have had something just instead of, oh, that's your pep talk? Oh, you should go talk to that guy because he's got some pep talk inspiring things to talk. He's talking, and he'll pep you so hard. The part where Will Smith says, what are we, some kind of Suicide Squad? It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, at first in the trailers we were all hype about it, but like once you actually sit there and think about it, it's kind of ridiculous. And going back to when I said Joker was in this movie way too much, there's a scene where Griggs is at a casino or whatever, at a club, and gambling, and Joker gets a hold of him and he's like, hey, you're gonna do something for me. Blah, 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 blah. And, like, that's a scene that we didn't need. It's a scene that was just a waste of time. It gave Harley a phone, which at least 15 guys watched the security guard give Harley a phone, and nobody took it away from her. And then later she's on a helicopter with Flag, and there's people surrounding her, and they see her typing on this phone, and nobody's taking this phone away from her. Why? Like, I get to drive the plot to get Joker to come later, but like, nobody's taking this phone from her. She's talking to outside sources. Why is nobody taking this phone from her? And then after the whole cell phone scene where she's texting Joker, they get to the city and it gets shot down. And while it's getting shot down, they're falling from the sky. And while they're falling from the sky, they somehow crash. And when they somehow crash, they somehow survive. Everyone in the helicopter crash survives. How? Oh yeah, they introduced this character named Slipknot. Oh yeah, they said goodbye to this character Slipknot. That's how quick his scene was. He was introduced later in the movie, not even with everybody else, and then he was instantly killed off. That's it. He got like 0 screen time, and he was like one of the major actors credited in the movie for his literal almost maybe 3 minutes in the movie. What? Deadshot is so sensitive in this movie. Griggs is talking back to him and he's like, oh, is that a threat? Yeah, it's a security guard. Of course he's threatening you. And then Flag threatens him, and he's like, oh, are you threatening me? Are you threatening me, Flag? I'm gonna kill you, Flag. Like, what a drama queen. Another good bullet point. Deadshot has a really cool scene where he's on top of a car and just mowing down people with his little gauntlet guns. And it's an awesome scene. And it's one of those scenes where you're like, wow, why isn't the movie more like this? Because it could, and it had potential to be like this. And it only had like 4 or 5 moments in this movie where it was like, wow, man, this is gonna be awesome. Oh, I hope this is the right direction they're going in, please. Nope. And then there's an elevator scene where Harley decides to split from the group and go up an elevator for some reason. And then she gets attacked by 2 of the things that Enchantress decided to summon, which there were no more in the whole building until later. But it was a scene that didn't need to happen, and it was just a little montage showing Harley's ass, and then showing off her fighting moves, and showing off how cute she can be. Oh, and then when she gets to the top, everybody's at the top like, ugh, brooding. Brooding and brooding. Brooding and angry and brooding and brooding. Ugh. And back to where I talk about Deadshot's mask and how it was a stupid excuse to not put it on. Will Smith puts it on, and it looks awesome. Like, if he had that on more in the movie, holy shit. I know they're paying for Will Smith's face, but if they had the mask on more, dude, it looked amazing. Why not keep it on for more than he actually had it on, which was like maybe 2 minutes of screen time with the mask on, but that's it. And then when he puts the mask on, Harley's like, pussy. Who says that? Who literally says that? Who, Harley, says that? And then there's a part during that fight scene where Rick Flag gets, like, captured again by all the summoned creatures. And then he's just one big damsel in distress in this movie. And they explain why. Enchantress is scared of Rick Flag. That's why they're all after him. It all makes sense. What a stupid... Why are they afraid of just, like, a soldier? There's literally... They've got a squad of super people. Like, they're not all that super. I mean, they're kind of just genetically disformed, if you think about it. But out of all this squad, they're afraid of the soldier. Yes, because June was like, hey, if it comes to it, just kill me. That's maybe why she's afraid, but like it's... Ugh! I feel like it would take more to break Diablo than just going like, oh yeah? You gonna show me something? You gonna show me something? Oh yeah, you wanna say something? Yeah, show me something! This guy who's trying to go a different path in life, and what gets him is somebody going, oh, you gonna do something? You gonna do something? Huh? You better show me something? What are we in, like, middle school where he's just getting bullied? That's what sets him off? That? Some more backstory for Harley halfway through the movie. It's just what we needed, I think. More backstory for a character we already had backstory for. Yeah, that's what we need. I like that idea. And then they jump to a scene where Rick Flag's like, alright, you guys hold here, I gotta go get this person because we gotta transfer them to a different place and get them the hell out of here. And, like, there's a security door and he puts in a code and goes in and then locks the door behind him, and then a minute later, Deadshot just walks in. Just into a secure door area. Yeah, I'm sure he could figure out a code, but, like, he just walks in. Nobody's even guarding the door or anything like that, but like, why not just go ahead and Deadshot? Why not? Please. Badass moment when Viola Davis just kills a bunch of people. Man, she's more bad than the actual squad. She is bad. And then even Will Smith is like, oh, we're the bad guys? Oh, I'm the bad guy. Yeah, we're the bad guys, but you just killed all these people. She had the better moment right there than you guys had throughout basically the whole movie. I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. She should have done that to you, Deadshot, and Harley, and Croc, and Boomerang, and Diablo. Then after that scene, Croc just laughs and says, huh, I like her. Then it jumps to a scene where we're on the rooftop, and then the helicopter comes to pick up Viola Davis, and then, oh, don't you worry, because the chopper is not controlled by military, it's actually the Joker and his crew, and that is when we see a true Joker moment and a really great Joker laugh, but it's only that movement, or only that moment throughout the whole movie do we get that moment where Jared Leto could actually be good as a Joker. And it stops right after that. Just that moment. It's just a moment. It's literally a moment. And during this scene, Joker disarms her little neck bomb, and then she's like, I'm gonna jump on the chopper, and then she jumps on the chopper, and then they fly away, and then they get shot down, and then she somehow lands perfectly, even though she's falling backwards onto a rooftop. She lands perfectly, and then Joker just crashes to his demise, and see you later, but I'm okay because I just landed perfectly. I tucked and rolled right onto this rooftop. Makes sense, right? And while they're flying away, Viola Davis's character tells Deadshot, shoot her down. You need to kill that girl because she's flying away and she wasn't cleared to do that. And what didn't make sense to me, yes, Deadshot is the marksman and he'll probably do what you tell him if you say, hey, you know, a little bit of year shedding off your sentence, and you know, he definitely won't, you know, double cross you at that point. So why not just get Flag to do it, who was apparently one of your best men, who probably could have shot Harley down. Probably should have got Flag to do it. Because Deadshot definitely didn't. No? And then when Viola finally gets an actual helicopter with her actual military, she's picked up and then she's shot down. And she's the only one to survive her crash. The only one in her helicopter. Then we go on to Harley rejoining the squad for some reason, even though she's free. This is off. She just rejoins for no reason because they're her friends, her family. Just doesn't make sense, like why she would even go back. Yeah, Joker just died, and you know, she's really sad, but why? Why go back to your captors? Why? Deadshot's real upset again, because he found secret plans and he read them all within like 10 seconds and then threw them at Flag's head. He's a drama queen. He's a drama queen and he can read really fast. Deadshot. Why? And then we go into a flashback where Enchantress and Rick Flag are under the subway where Incubus is right above their heads, and they're going to detonate a bomb right below him and kill him, probably. Maybe it works. Maybe. But he sets it for 2 seconds. He sets this bomb for 2 seconds. It's just enough time for Enchantress to give it to Incubus and then come back. But what happens is Enchantress throws the bomb at Rick Flag and he disarms it in literally a second. It's being thrown at him and he disarms it. So he had to been like, click, nah, not this time, Enchantress. You didn't get me that time. Well, 5 seconds I can understand, maybe. But 2 seconds. He caught it and disarmed it in 2 seconds. He is so good at what he does, but he's such a damsel in distress later on in the movie. And then I get to a certain point in this movie where I'm like, there has to be so many deleted scenes. Because in the trailer, there's a scene when they're finally at the bar and they're like, they're pouring drinks for each other, and then Diablo's like, I'll take a water. Good choice, honey. And then that scene's not even there. Like, there has to be so many deleted scenes that probably would have made this movie better, but didn't. Yeah, let's just show a little bit of backstory for Diablo 3/4 of the way through the movie. Makes sense. It makes more sense than anything, really, if you think about it.
Not me, shawty. I'm beautiful.
One of the major problems I had with this movie is that Croc talked street. I mean, I haven't read the comics to a full, but I'm pretty certain he didn't talk ghetto. He didn't wear suede sweatshirts. Also, he's super tiny. He's a tiny man. He's like 6 foot at least. And then there's a part in the bar scene where Rick Flag is finally like, you know what, whatever, you guys are free. Breaks the phone. And that's it? Like, they're free? Like, is that how you disarm bombs? By breaking your phone? Like, it's your phone. It's not even like a remote that detonates these things. It's your phone. So that's got to be like an app for itself. So like if you, like there's an app, so like it's in the cloud, so like another phone has that app. So like they're not free. Just breaking a phone doesn't free somebody. But it did in this movie. You're damn right it did. One of the things I majorly noticed about this movie is how many times people curse. And it's a PG-13 movie. Like, I don't have a problem with cursing. But they did it in this movie to where it seemed like a teenage kid who was just learning cursing for the first time, so they like overly use it more than they should. Harley Quinn says pussy twice in this movie. To me, a teenager wrote this movie. The way Croc enters water is kind of weird. So there's actually a cool scene with Katana where she's actually talking to her katana, which is her husband's soul trapped inside of a sword. And she's crying about it because this could be the last time she lives. And I think it's a very sympathetic scene because she didn't get very much character development. So like seeing a scene like that, you don't even know anything about this woman, but she's crying to her husband's soul inside of it because she's gonna probably die. I mean, I thought it was a good scene. A lot of people didn't, but I thought I liked it. So they enter the building where Enchantress and Incubus are holding up their quarters, and there's no guards, like, at all. None of the, like, summoned people. There's no guards around the area. Like, they didn't show any scenes where the squad kills anybody, and if they would have killed somebody, they probably would have made noise, and then they would have found out that they're there. But I mean, Enchantress, she knew that they were there anyway, so like, what's the point? I kind of think it's dumb that the Suicide Squad tells each other that they're friends and family when they only just met each other like a day ago. Is that just me? Like, I know they've been through like this last couple hours, but like, are they really friends and family? No, I don't think so. So Diablo has a final form? Did he ever like get to it before? So how did he know he had it? Incubus was literally being shot by heavy artillery throughout most of the movie, but he can die by a bomb. And Diablo sacrificed himself, so there's no more Diablo. But all your problems are solved by a bomb. Before Enchantress fights off the squad, she goes back into her savage form for some reason. Like, I don't understand, like, is it, like, just a battle dress, her savage form? Is it easier for her to fight in this form? It doesn't make any sense to me. And then, by the way, at a certain point after so much fighting, she just disarms everybody, which she could have just done in the first place and saved us all, like, 5 minutes. And after she disarms everybody, Harley is like, alright, I give up, I'm gonna join Enchantress's side, because it makes the most sense. I want my Mr. J back, so I'm gonna join Enchantress's side. And as she's walking up to Enchantress, oh, there's Katana's sword on the ground. Oh, I'm gonna join you. Slice! Rips open her chest, and then, you know, at this moment, I literally went. And you can ask Mike. Mike's not even in this video, but you can ask Mike. I literally went, the first time seeing this, I went, and just laid in my seat for the rest of the movie. That's how bad that was, and how predictable, and how much I hated that. Was just the fact that I laid down through the rest of the movie in my seat at the movies, that I just, it was so infuriating. A good point throughout this movie is that I realized you can solve everything. Every world problem. Everything. World hunger? You could solve it with bombs. You know, Enchantress getting a teleportation thing, you know, you can solve that with a bomb. Incubus? You could solve that with a bomb. Anything else in the world, you can just solve with a bomb. Why aren't people making more bombs? That's not to be taken seriously. Don't make bombs, people. And during this bomb scene, when one of the characters throws the bomb into Enchantress's vortex of doom, is actually a pretty cool scene where Enchantress is making Deadshot see a vision of his daughter and saying, don't do this, just stop, Daddy, just stop. And it's a really cool scene because it was really sentimental, and there was so many good points in this movie that you just wish the movie was like that. You just were like, man, if that's what they were going for, that would have been awesome. But instead they went this completely different direction. Enchantress survived the bomb. And then she goes on to say the weirdest line that I'd ever hear a goddess say in my life. And that's, you don't have the balls. Yep, that's exactly what I would picture that character saying in real life. A goddess. A goddess. I would have pictured her saying that. Man, that's the perfect line. Whoever wrote that, we're like, it'd be great if Enchantress just said this line. You don't have the balls. Man, that's good screenwriting right there. Pat on the back. Oh god, I totally forgot to mention that Rick Flag totally bros out after Deadshot shoots the bomb. Bros out and hugs Deadshot. Oh man, nice shot. June is still alive. Joker survives and ends up coming back to save Harley from the prison called Black Site that they were at. They weren't even at Arkham. They were at a Black Site in Louisiana. And then I'm gonna move on to the soundtrack. It was literally just pop hits, old classics. Just songs that didn't need to be there at all. And then, like, this whole movie would have been better if it just had a really good score. Like, instead of just throwing songs everywhere, like Guardians of the Galaxy or something, they were like, boom, boom, classic. Oh, they're gonna love that. Let's put 7 songs right next to each other in a 5-minute span. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be absolutely great. And now I'm gonna move into, like, why I liked each individual character / why I didn't like each individual character. Now I'm going to get into why I liked and didn't like each individual character in this movie. Not all of them. Don't worry about that. So Deadshot's Will Smith. That's why everybody likes Deadshot. It's literally Will Smith killing people. That's why you like Deadshot. Not because of the actual character that Deadshot is. You like Deadshot because it's Will Smith and the way Will Smith acts. Oh my god. So, like, I personally didn't like Deadshot. He had some cool scenes with his daughter and Batman, but that was really about it. Other than the one on the car where he's like, boom, 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 boom. That's... Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. Hated how she looked. She just really, for lack of a better word, slutty. I mean, sometimes in the comics that's how she is, but Margot was just trying, it seemed like she was trying too hard, and at certain points she was trying to go for the animated Harley Quinn, and then it just seemed like the movie was just trying to show off Margot Robbie's body, which can't say that I blame them. I'm just saying character development, it's not going to work by showing off ass. Telling you that. Jared Leto's Joker. There's certain points where you're like, wow, he could really actually do this. He could actually be a good Joker. And then it got to a lot of points actually, where this is the worst Joker we've had. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't want to completely blame Jared Leto for it, because we all know he's a really good actor. It's just the character design for the Joker for this movie was terrible. The way he looked was just stupid. If he lost all the tattoos, the crappy makeup, the gangster get-up, modern-day gangster get-up. I'm not trying to go for Heath Ledger again, because we all know he was one of a kind, but they went for something completely new and off the charts that it just should have stayed off the charts. Viola Davis. She was actually one of the best things about this movie, was Viola Davis. Even she couldn't give this movie the justice that it needed. No pun intended there. She was more of a bad guy than most of the bad guys. This would have been a better movie if she was the villain and the squad was going after her. Diablo. It's actually one of the better characters, like Viola Davis's characters. This is one of the better characters. He was trying to go a different path. He was trying to go on the path of righteousness, which was just to not kill, not be bad anymore. And he couldn't help it because Will Smith is slapping his head around. And then he just didn't have he didn't have good lines. Like, all of his were just really stupid lines to me. Like, he wasn't given the full potential that he needed. None of these guys were given the full potential that they needed, but especially Diablo, because he was the closest to the potential. And then they just kept slapping him down with stupid lines. And Captain Boomerang. I haven't really talked about him at all throughout this whole review. And there's not much to say. He was great comedic relief, but to me he was over Australian, and that's really saying something because the guy who played him, Jai Courtney, is Australian, and you could not understand what he was saying most of the time. And like, this is the one movie I was really hoping Jai Courtney could pull through, because he's one of the actors that I want to have like a breakout role in. I just want him to be good in something, and this was it. But the way they made him do it was just overly. He was useless. That's all I can say. He was useless in this movie. Katana, I really liked her, but unfortunately she was very underutilized, and we didn't know much about her at all. Croc, super ghetto, super short, not even buff, painted on muscles. Who's Slipknot? Rick Flag wasn't bad in most parts, but he was mostly a major damsel in distress throughout the whole movie, considering he's the best of the best, says Viola Davis. But damsel in distress throughout this whole movie. Enchantress was not the villain this movie needed at all. In fact, she almost shouldn't have even been in this movie at all, if you think about it. So if you guys like this, if you guys agree with this, that's awesome. If you disliked it, I'm sorry, again, this is just my point of view. But still, thanks for watching, guys.
Wow. Suicide Squad made Glenn very angry. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, give it a like and or dislike if you didn't like it. Comment, all that jazz, subscribe. You know the drill. Over there, that's going to be my last week, Recom Mondays, which was for the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Unbreakable. And over there is Last Glenn's Days, which was The Last Samurai. Thanks, Glenn, for, filling in for me, since I was unable to. Below my face is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. If you click on this, it's our Kubo and the Two Strings review that came out this past Friday. We saw it a month in advance, though, so you can check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And you know the drill. Alright, thanks. Bye.